Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Place in the Middle podcast. My name is Amy.
And I'm Butter, and today we're going to talk about making friends.
Yep, a tough topic for us.
Yep, it's a big topic.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit harder
Yeah.
for us in the middle,
Mhm.
amid different cultures and also environments, places,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
lots of different factors.
I know.
At first, I thought like maybe it's just me, like who has a hard time making friends. But I think as I grew
Yeah.
older, I'm like, there's seasons of where it's easy, and then some seasons where it's harder,
Definitely. Yeah.
right? Like what about you? Like in college, for instance, was it hard for you to make friends?
In college, since I was in kind of the same environment, honestly.
Okay.
Because I went to college here, but
Yeah.
international college.
Yep.
So I still have a lot of like international school students friend, but at the same time, I still get friends from that are coming from like a fully Thai school or like honestly a different country.
Yeah. Was that
So
harder to be friends with? Like fully Thai or like
with the, I realized I think we touched base on this a little bit. Um, I think that it's easier for me to relate to people that are well traveled
yeah.
or like international school
Yep.
students or I get you guys know what I'm talking about, but um I think my culture shock was that to make friends with people in my own culture
Mm.
because there are some like
You mean like Thai?
yeah. Yes. Yeah. In an Asian culture in general, it's more like a collective experience kind of deal where
Mm.
like people really like your presence in life and just in general impacts other people, so they're all up in your business.
Yeah.
You know how like parents and aunties and uncles would ask you things.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know you,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
why do you want to know when I'm having kids or whatever?
Yeah.
But I guess like
Just really personal questions.
right, I
Yeah.
think that is part of the culture where
Right.
like we really care for each other, we take
Yes.
care of each other. There's an upside and downside to it.
Right.
So yeah. How
That-
about you?
For me, I think in college I went to college in America,
Mm-hmm.
and so for my undergrad, and so I remember like having a hard time transitioning. And I remember just thinking, I thought that I was international enough to where even though I went to America, it wouldn't be such a big transition.
Right,
Like I wouldn't be
right.
so culture shock.
Uh-huh.
But then what I realized is when making friends, I felt so much more at home when I'm with international students
Definitely.
because I
Yes.
felt like they understood to a level what it means to be far away from home and to
Mm-hmm.
have that
Yes.
homesickness and like
Exactly.
that gathering perspective
Uh-huh.
of like let's be together.
Right.
And so I think that really helped me in the first couple of years in college where I was still trying to find my place
Yeah.
to be with them
Right.
and to not really have to explain much of what I am. Because it's
Right.
just like we're just an international culture. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Thailand. The other person's like Japan or whatever,
Right.
and it's just normal.
Right.
And you're like, okay. But sometimes if they're from there, then there might need to be more explanation of like, so where are you from? Like Thailand. They're like, I had one
Right.
person say Thailand, Texas, like a city in Texas called Thailand, and I'm like,
Wow.
no, like Thailand, the country, and they're like,
Is that Taiwan?
oh yeah. Do you speak Taiwanese? And I'm like,
That's not a language. But
no,
okay.
no, like,
Mm-hmm.
and so for me, like having understanding for them, and also kind of like, okay, obviously it's so much easier for me to just stick to international students because to a level they understand like, oh, they
Right,
know
right.
Thailand, we know
Right.
Japan, things like that.
Right.
And so making friends with international students was a lot easier for me in college.
Mm-hmm.
Not that later I would have more like American friends there, and like one of them is my best friend now.
Right.
But it like there were some cultural differences that we had to like adjust to.
Right, right,
Like, I
right,
think
yeah.
she had to adjust to me, I had to adjust to her. And good thing like we were both open to the differences.
Yeah.
Or else if one of us is like, I don't understand you and what's happening with this,
Right.
then it's harder,
Right.
I think, to be friends.
I think understanding friends are just so important.
Right.
It's kind of like it's so I think this is in general as well.
Hmm.
You can make friends with people that are more open to who you are and kind of discovering of like who you are
Right.
in a long term. It's not just like, oh, I don't like this about you. I'm just gonna not be friends with you.
Right.
Because I don't feel like everybody's can be perfect,
Right.
right? And yeah,
And even like they can have a different opinion than you on a certain
definitely,
topic,
yes.
and you can still be friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that's why like sometimes it's hard to hear because it's like, no, my way is the right way. Like this is how I
Yeah,
believe it. But actually sometimes I realize when they share why they believe it the other way, you can kind of see it in a different perspective
right.
as well.
Yeah,
And I think, I mean, that just because you have a different opinion about something doesn't mean you can't be friends.
right. Yeah, and I think that's in general as well. Like, just because you have different views on things or
Right.
different opinions doesn't mean you can't exist together.
Right.
Yeah,
And you can't be close.
and I think that's something that all of us kind of need to learn, that not everybody's gonna think the same way as us.
Hmm.
And just because you think they're wrong doesn't mean they're always wrong.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And I think that comes with just being so exposed to so many different opinions
Yeah.
and not, because the thing is, you know how like you kind of want to surround yourself with people that kind of make you better.
Right.
And I think that sometimes it's so uncomfortable
Hmm.
because like they're gonna say things that, you know, sometimes gonna make you mad.
Right.
You're not gonna be happy about it.
Yeah.
But if you're kind of willing to like set that pride aside,
Hmm.
it's just so important that you grow as a person.
Yeah.
And I think that I was just like, I was, you know, asking myself like, do I have any friends that is not in my culture
Yeah.
but understands me so well? And I realized like when I was in the States in my third year of like the Bible school that I went to, I moved in with a friend that was already a housemate with me before that.
Okay.
And we were kind of like yeah, we just moved to an apartment together, just two of us. And I realized like in the beginning I was like annoyed at her, like
Mm.
when we were living in the same house. But then once we moved in, like we have to adjust to each other.
Yeah.
And I remember like us just sitting on like a Friday night on like our couch and we would just talk. And I
Mm.
realized like she asked such good questions.
Mm.
Like she was willing to like understand me even if sometimes she didn't understand.
Right.
And I realized
Like
that
they
it's
make
like,
an effort.
exactly. And I'm like, that's for us, that's enough. That
Right.
you're making efforts.
Me too. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Because we don't
exactly.
get a lot of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't understand me.
Right.
I care that you make an effort to understand me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the important part for me. Like you're trying. So even if
Definitely,
you
yeah.
don't get it, I'm like, I'm totally okay with that. But you're not
Yeah.
gonna be like, whatever, like I'm not going to
Right.
try at all.
Yeah.
Instead, you can see how hard they're trying to be like
Uh-huh.
understand you more, ask you more questions about
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think some people maybe aren't as comfortable to do that,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe just the level of friendship is not there yet where they feel comfortable enough to
Yeah.
dig deeper, and instead,
Yeah.
I mean, they might have their own insecurities of just
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
everybody does, right?
yeah, of like, oh, I don't want to offend them.
Right.
And I think that's also a big thing of like a lot of people, I think when I was in the States, might not ask certain questions because they're afraid to offend me,
right.
right? I mean, some things are like racist, like unintentionally.
And like sometimes you can't help it because
Yeah.
like you actually don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And that
and-
you actually don't know. And
yeah.
so I'm like, it's okay if you ask, like in a
Yeah.
nice way, not like
Uh-huh.
in an accusation way, but I
Right.
realize like if you approach it in like a curiosity, out of
Mhm.
curiosity, people are rarely going to be like angry at you for asking. It's just
Yeah.
you don't know and you want
Yeah.
to know.
I think the way that you phrase the question as well, it's kind
Oh,
of like
yeah.
you don't come into the conversation saying like, I don't get why you're doing that.
Yes.
You know, we don't like is that
like
that is-
you. Why are you eating that?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like it makes us feel bad.
Yes,
it makes us
exactly.
insecure about our own culture,
Right.
honestly. But like I have friends that would ask like, "Hey, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because like
Mhm.
we actually don't have that here."
Yes.
And I
like,
love
out
that.
of curiosity.
Yeah. And I think the intention of the heart and like the way that you like approach things, other people can feel it without you verbalizing that fact that you wanting to know. The
Right.
curiosity is there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you don't have to say I'm curious, they're just the way they ask it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yes. And those
Uh-huh.
are the people who are like, I am willing to like spend a lot of time
Right.
explaining to you why I
Uh-huh.
do the things that I do.
Do you have any funny stories about like explaining your culture to your friends?
No, do you?
I do.
Tell me.
Okay, so
I can't think of it on the spot
it's
right
not
now.
the greatest story.
Oh.
I always tell this story to a friend because like when I tell people that I'm from Thailand, people think we are a third world country,
Yeah.
kind of. We're like
I know what you
okay,
mean. I know what you mean.
okay, we are a developing country.
Yes, yes, we are a third world country.
But just because we are labeled that doesn't mean that we don't have civilization.
Like, doesn't mean we live in huts.
right.
I know what you
Which
mean.
is like
What
it's
you
not
mean.
wrong to do that,
Exactly.
right? But like we're not that far off from like
First world.
yeah, exactly. We just
I would say a lot of things Thailand has is like way
100%
beyond.
banking system in Thailand.
Oh yes,
much better.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So when I was in college,
know
let's
where
come
you're
back to the
going.
story.
I-
So when I did like exchange program, like a
Mhm.
study abroad program with my college, I tell people that I'm from Thailand, and like I think I'm the one of the only Thai students there.
Okay.
Like one of the 6. I don't know what's going on, but people would ask me like, "What? Oh, do you have cars there?" That's like a,
I know.
do you know what I mean?
Can you ride elephants?
That's a common question. Like,
Can you ride elephants?
so basically, I come up with this whole story.
Me too.
Wait, I'll tell you my
Okay,
version.
you tell you your version. When somebody asks you
Yeah, people are like,
Uh-huh.
"So do you ride elephants like
to school,
places?"
yeah.
So I would tell them, I would pull this face,
Uh-huh.
and I'd be like, "Do you know that when a Thai person is born, the government actually gifted you one elephant, so you can
Holy cow!
so you can grow up together." So when I was little, I have a baby elephant with me, and you know, like coming like outside of the country, I miss my elephant so much. Like I would have to ask my parents to like take care of the elephants, and sometimes I would FaceTime him
Oh my god!
so I can like check in on him.
No, that's such a good story.
No, but the thing is,
They believe it.
yeah,
I know they would.
and
They
I
would
don't
totally
think until
believe it.
today, if like my friends are not watching this, I don't think they know. No,
You didn't reveal it to them after.
No,
Oh my
I
god!
forgot. Like I just like it was just like a joke in my head, you know. Like,
Yeah.
didn't realize, but people
People
actually
believe
took
it.
seriously. I'm so sorry, but like,
I know what you mean. Okay, that's a really good story.
You know what I mean?
That's
It's
good
kind of like-
imagination.
exactly, and like I would like pull this whole sad face, like I'm about to cry. I'm like, I miss my elephant so much, like, and I had to be apart from him for like a year. And I
Oh
don't know if
my
I
gosh!
don't know if he's gonna remember me when I go home. Like, that's a real concern. Anyways,
Oh my god! That's the worst. Wow. Okay, I'm not that far.
can you tell that I'm like mischievous and like I have like brothers
we
growing
do, I
up?
mean, we do that, but that's like on another level.
Yeah, because I was sick of it. I was like, are you
At least
kidding me
when-
right
yeah,
now?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
Oh, yeah.
I think at that point I was just like done.
I-
At that point, I just took it as like offense
Yes.
of you asking me if like
Yeah.
you know.
I kind of get that too because
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, why would I ride
And
elephants?
also, where did they get that idea from?
Yeah.
like we don't ride elephants like ever.
Yes. And so then, like, for me, it's more like, so do you ride elephants like to school? And I'm like, yeah, I had to get elephant driving license, like a
Wait, that's-
license to ride the elephants. And like the elephant to school, and then like I go like go and park it, whatever, like let it like
Right.
leash whatever there, and they're like
And park it.
My story was like really crappy, and I'm like making up on the spot. I'm like,
Right.
I'm sticking to this is like, yeah, you had to get license like to ride it, and then I
Mhm.
get that to go to school, but then I don't keep it like that because they're like, really? And I'm like, no, no. I don't ride elephants to school. This is not, and like I just like
Right.
reveal it right there.
Right.
But I think to a level, like we're fed up with it.
Yeah.
We get it so often of like, why would we ride elephants to
Right.
school? Like, but then again, people who've never been here,
I don't think
they don't know, and they
Yeah.
might think, oh, Thailand might be third world country. Like people have asked, like when I was younger,
No
like,
roads, just dirt roads
Yes.
and stuff. Yeah.
like yeah, people like when I was younger, we had like some like friends and their kids came and we played together, and they were like, do you guys know what apples are? Almost like punch them in the face. Excuse me? Apples? Like if you ask me what like durian is in America, I would be like fine, because that's like a very like specific
Yeah.
like
Right.
to this
I mean, we
country.
have a lot of fruits in this country too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apples, I was like, I was about to knock them out. How dare you ask me such a like offensive question if I know what apples are? And then it was like, do you guys have cell phones like services? And I'm like, we got cell phones and apples. Like what? And the thing is, to me, it was so shocking.
Are we
like,
talking about Apple products or like apples? The
no,
the
they were
fruit.
kids. Like,
Okay.
fruit.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay. You know, like I'm about to like knock you out. I was just so shocked at the level of what do you think we don't have? Like how much
Yeah.
do you think we are behind? I
Right.
think in the world, or like how third world are we? You know, like to put
Right.
it like, because I mean even some people who have come to Thailand for the first time, I think their expectations are also blown if they didn't do a lot of research. My best friend came to visit and she was like, holy cow, your malls are like humongous.
Our malls are great, guys.
It's huge and it's so high tech, like
It's so cool.
beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought back and I'm like, right, because in America, only like specific malls in the country or in the city are that big.
That's true. That's
and everything
true.
else is like Target or Walmart,
Right,
or like
right,
little
right.
shops, like
like small like
sm-
stores.
yes, small stores, and you just go visit each one like that,
Mhm.
but not like one building 7 floors.
Yeah. Right. We have everything in the mall. Like,
Everything we
it's
can
a
get in the mall.
one-stop thingy. Yeah.
Right. And so I thought back, I'm like, oh, right, because I didn't think that was an impressive part, because I just think this is part of our life.
Yeah.
But when people come visit and they're like, whoa,
Like this is why like I think if you live in Bangkok, you would know like
Mm.
people go to the mall to just hang out.
right,
And actually we do that here too.
yeah,
You know, like think about like our biggest mall here.
Mhm.
And you can go there, get grocery, watch a movie, have a meal, send your kids to like tutoring.
play place,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
What else? You can go to a dermatologist,
coffee shop,
coffee shops, everything is there.
the dermatologist,
A
dentist,
gym? Yeah, there's a
dentist.
whole gym too. Yeah.
Yep. You can go to the dentist. It's like
The
one
dentist,
stop for
that's
all.
true.
Yeah, the dentist is there.
Yeah.
Bookstores,
Mm-hmm.
like everything you can. Sports equipments, everything.
Right, right.
It's a one stop for all.
It is. And there are some like gym that have like indoor pools too. Not here in Chiang Mai, but I know in Bangkok they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like what are some things that people would be shocked to know that they're here?
Lush.
We do have Lush.
We have Bath and Body Works is here now.
That's true.
We just got Taco Bell in Chiang Mai.
That's true. We have Birkenstock.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Uniqlo, if you don't know what that is, I don't know
Yes.
where you've been living.
Yes. Uniqlo, huge stores.
We got Marks and Spencers too, and that's
Mm.
I think it's in British, right? Yeah, Europeans. I can't
think so.
I can't confirm that. I think it's a British thing.
I think so too, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But we get like stores from not just the American side,
Yes.
but we get like Europeans and we get like Korean,
Japanese.
Japanese too. Yep.
Daiso.
Daiso, the dollar store.
Yes. So we get a lot
Mhm.
like just international.
Right, right. And we get a lot of international cuisine here too.
Right.
Yeah. It's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I love
We
it.
get to try a lot of things. I realize like now, barely do we need to go. Like I always think, oh, I miss this in America. I miss eating this in America.
Yeah.
And then now you can get it here
Right.
too.
We have
import it.
Domino's in Bangkok. I got Domino's when I was
Oh,
there.
I saw that.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Yep, I got Domino's. We have like you said, Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have?
That one. Shake Shack.
I love Shake Shack,
Shake Shack
so much.
And Cheesecake Factory came to Bangkok.
That's true. That's true. Cheesecake Factory. I remember that. We have Sephora,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
So many different things.
Yeah.
But even then, sometimes even Thai brand stuff, like Thai people open or foreigners come open restaurants that serve like good Mexican or like American food
gosh,
that's not
yes.
franchise.
Yes.
And it's so good.
Uh-huh.
Like some of those places, ice cream places.
ooh,
like-
yes.
One in Bangkok called Gus Damn Good.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. Yeah.
I love
Uh-huh.
it so much.
Uh-huh. Right. And I love when like people like localize things.
Yes.
When they, I mean, Starbucks as well. I don't know if you, I don't know if you know, but like I think I if I'm understanding this correctly, I know that Starbucks in Thailand, at least, they actually source like some of their beans from the local like um coffee farmer.
Oh, okay.
I can't confirm that, but that's from that's what I've heard like 5 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but I know that Starbucks like because think about it, like coffee you can't really import it, and like the taste of the coffee, like the aroma of it,
Mm,
you lost it during travel.
really? I don't know.
I
I don't know
think.
enough about coffee.
Anyway, whatever.
Back to
That's
friendship.
yep.
We took a detour at
Yep.
food. Every time we go to
Uh-huh.
food, it's like a round loop.
Exactly. I mean, we love talking about food. Yeah,
But okay, so like friendships as after college, I think is hard.
definitely.
Way
Yes.
harder to make.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think we have less time. And I don't think that was something I expected because in college it was so easy to make friends because everybody had to be there to go to school.
Right.
You had the same class with the same people eventually until you graduate.
Right. In the same class as you. Yeah.
Right. And same majors and everything. And it's so much easier to meet up. I realize it's so much harder to make friends that are like on a deeper level
Mm-hmm.
too. I think maybe because like I moved back to Thailand and
Right.
just that transition again of like I don't really fit into anything. Like I don't understand Thai still. Don't I don't think I'm fully American either. It's just that blended place. And though we have church community and things like that, there's still a level that I didn't feel like I fit in or
Yeah.
like belonged.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole belonging thing. I think honestly, we can come back to the whole like making friends. I
Yeah.
think it takes time.
Really does.
And I think like for us, even though like for us to make like deep friendship, it takes a while.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean we don't make friends along the way. I think like we have to adjust wherever we go.
Right.
And sometimes you're not gonna get the quality friendship, but you do need friends in life.
Yeah.
I totally believe that because I'm like, I know that there are some friends that have been like so supportive to me during
Mhm.
like my times that are
Yeah,
really hard.
yeah.
And sometimes you can't get that from like your own family. I
Yes.
think okay, the thing is, I feel like the whole family word, the word family is different for everybody too. Because like think about it. If some people talk about like, oh, we want this community to be a family, but what if they have like a bad connotation with the word family?
Right.
Yeah, so I think it's a very
Depends on the
yeah, it
person.
depends on a person, but yeah, it's good to have friends. Families are there as well, and yeah, I love both. It's
And there can be different levels of friendship. Like I'm saying when I came back to Thailand, I made friends,
Mhm.
but I would never say that they were my best friends, but they're friends that
Mhm.
like I would go hang out with sometimes and like share to a certain level.
right.
But then I have like my inner circle friends where I'm like, I would call you up if I had a really hard time. Or because to me, I never want to be a burden to someone.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
then I try not to reach out to people if I had a hard time.
Right.
But that's when you need your closest people.
Exactly.
And they would want you to reach out. Like I had a friend who literally got like my best friend called her up and I'm like in tears. Like I'm crying. I'm like having such a hard day. And then at the end of it, I felt better even though the situation wasn't fixed. And she
Mhm.
was like, I'm so glad you called me.
Right.
And I'm thinking, how odd, right? Like, why would you be so glad that I called you? I'm like in tears. Like this is like a sad
You're
call.
a mess,
Like
basically.
I'm a mess, yeah. And she was like, I'm so glad that you thought of me when you were having a
Right.
hard time.
Yeah.
And I want to be that kind of friend to other people, to my best friends too. Like
Right.
if they were having a hard time and they didn't call me, I would be more pissed off at them if I found out later that they were suffering alone.
Right.
I would want you to
And
call.
I think the concept, I mean, this comes back to like the fact that I think it's a very lonely journey to kind of grow up as a TCK, even though you're surrounded by like so many people. Like we could literally fly anywhere in the world and we'll have like, somebody that we know.
Yeah.
But I think it's so lonely, and I feel like we take that so personally that it just becomes one part of us. I think that's why it's so hard for us to like call up a person if you need somebody. For me, it's so hard to reach out to a person when I'm in trouble because I felt like I would have to fix this by myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I think it's that loneliness that is so ingrained in us that we kind of have to kind of lower that wall and
Mm.
kind of let people in.
Right.
Because I feel like a lot of times when you're surrounded with people that can really support you,
Mhm.
not to enable you, but like to kind of call you out on things.
Yeah.
That is so important.
Right.
That you're not gonna be like, a mess about the same thing over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even like the friends who say the hard stuff, even though you don't
Yeah.
want to hear it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't say that I could take it from anyone, but I feel like the ones who I trusted
Yes.
and I know they love me and they say it, I would listen to them and
Yeah.
like really think hard, like, is that what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I think those are the friendships worth keeping instead of the friends who like say all the nice things all the time,
Right.
even
right.
though they know like something's wrong. And I
Mhm.
think that's a lesson like I'm also learning about is that friendship does not mean that they have to support you all the time or encourage you all the
Right.
time, even though they disagree with you.
Yeah.
They can disagree with you, tell you, and they can still love you.
Right.
And like a both and.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of,
Yeah.
I mean, those are friendships that I'm really grateful for because at least
Mhm.
they like point it out in the kindest way.
Right. It's so vulnerable. And it's
Yes.
I feel like vulnerability is something that honestly we don't even have that word in Thai. The word vulnerable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we don't. I feel like it's not its own word. It's just like an explanation. Yeah.
Ah.
And being vulnerable is basically, for me, is kind of like you're opening up yourself to a person, even though you know that the result, like at the end, it's a 50-50. It can be great.
Yep.
You can be so tight with that person,
Yep.
or it can go wrong.
Right.
And I feel like it's that risk that you have to take.
Yes.
Or else, like, if you don't, if you close off yourself so much and not try to be vulnerable with somebody, you're never gonna find
Yep.
that person for you.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know
Mhm.
exactly what you're talking about
Mhm.
because vulnerability is really hard because
Yeah.
it's the things that you have feared about already or past bad experiences. And
Right.
you're willing to go back in again and show kind of your true self now
Yes.
to somebody who you don't know how they're going to hold what you're going to say.
Exactly.
And that is so painfully hard.
Yeah.
Like I like to call that a vulnerability hangover
Right.
because as soon as I say it and it's like they don't respond right away, that is excruciating
Yeah.
to wait.
You have to live with that.
Yeah,
You
you have
know?
to be okay.
Yeah.
Like to me, at one point, I realized I don't know how they will respond, but if I don't show them who I truly am now, I will regret that later.
Right.
That because what I realize is when you meet somebody who's really healthy, like in terms like mentally and like emotionally, and you share something vulnerable with them, they will hold it well, and then
Mhm.
your friendship is now at a deeper level
Right.
because you're not pretending that you're always okay.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
hard.
One of my mentor that
Mm.
I really like respected once told me that everybody is on like a journey of wellness and healing, right?
Mhm, mm.
And I'm like, that's always a moving thing. It's not like one person is, even though they look like they're, they
Have
get
it together.
yeah, they have it together. I don't feel like that's s- honestly, that's I feel like it's a lie.
Right. Nobody
you know,
has
they're-
it together.
Yeah, exactly. And you can have like seasons or like even years that you have it together, but there will be times where you're not gonna have it all together.
No.
And I had to learn to be okay with that.
Hmm.
For other people to have bad days and for me to have bad days too.
Right.
I feel like I feel like I've been raised on like the fact that you always have to be productive.
Mm.
And I'm like, I can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel so bad.
Right. When you
For-
stay still.
Exactly.
yeah.
For not doing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It starts to like when I say something like, should I be doing something like better than this? Even my
Right.
counselor was like, I think you need to rest. And I'm like, what does that mean? And then she was like, I don't know. You need to figure out for
Yeah.
yourself what rest looks like.
Right.
And then I just remember having this like conversation with her of just not resting is gonna be like worse for you. You need to
Right.
figure out how to rest.
Yeah. Because you're gonna burn out and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, in terms of adult friendships,
Mm-hmm.
I think why it was so hard. I thought it was just me at first, but
Mhm.
when I first came back from America, maybe the first year, I got a job working like 8 to 5 or something like that. And I realized after 5, I'm so tired. So
Yeah.
I'm more like there's not as much time to make friends unless they're friends from work.
Exactly.
And I was lucky enough to make some really good friends at work, but at that time we weren't that close yet. So
Mm-hmm.
I realized, oh, I just want to lay down most of the days
Right.
and not see anybody because I saw
Right.
people all day, work with people. Is it just me that it's just so much harder to make friends now? But I found out later my other friends had a hard time making friends once they work in like a corporate job
Right. Yeah.
because, well, where are you gonna find the time to meet? And if you meet, then you don't rest,
Right.
you're tired. So I thought this is another season of life where it's so much harder to get deep and make like lifelong friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no expectations to make like any more after college
Right. Right.
because I just think there is no time. First off, everybody has their own schedule.
Right.
I don't really want to see people often either. Some alone, like a lot of alone time because I'm
Yeah.
so tired.
Yeah.
So I think friendships that are at a deeper level are so much harder to make, more rare.
Yeah. And I mean, one thing that yeah, I totally get the whole tired thing. Like, I have one rest day during my week,
Mhm.
and I just rot in bed. I call them my rotting days.
Yeah.
Like, and in the evening, I drive to go see my boyfriend.
Mhm.
And there are days where we're just sitting on the couch and we're just doing, like, we're just not talking.
But
Because
just
we're
being
just
together.
both so tired. Sometimes we watch a movie together, which is, it's fun. But,
Yeah.
like, there are times where we're just, like, I would be scrolling on TikTok. He'll be on, like, I don't know, Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
whatever. And just, like, watching, like, dumb videos, you
Yeah.
know? And I'm like, I need that because I'm
Just that downtime.
Exactly. And, yeah.
It's nice to be with somebody who understands downtime. Like to be together, but no need to talk.
Right. And we don't even need to have, like, an activity plan.
Right.
Like, if we want to watch a movie, let's just watch a movie. It's like,
Mhm.
don't think too much about it, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like we get into our head so much to, like, plan everything
Mhm.
to, like, oh, this should be like, it's gonna be a fun day. We have so much expectation on this. But I realize, like, there are I have to have days where I'm like, just gonna sit and let's see how it goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are nice days too.
I
Just
love
chill.
it. I love it so much. Yeah.
What are some qualities like in friends that you look for that you think gives you lifelong friends? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me think about it.
Could be multiple qualities.
I know.
Just
I'm just, like, thinking about it. I'm like,
Cause I was just thinking like all the friends we have that we have for a lifetime, how are we still friends?
I
Like, good
think
friends. You know?
one other thing for me is that person needs to know how to, like, adapt to things. Not that they have to change for me.
Yeah.
But I think that having that, not even, honestly, a lot of times change is hard for everybody. And, like, I wouldn't even say, like, positive attitude. Just knowing, like, I feel like I need somebody that are adaptable and kind of, like, don't give up easily.
Mm.
Yeah. I guess, like, and it's okay. And they show that they're kind of like a multi-level, like, there's levels to your personality and there's so many layers, right?
Yeah.
To your personality, that it's okay for them to show me that they're tired and they can get mad and, like, they're not always happy and trying to, like, make this friendship work, I guess.
It's just authentic,
Exactly.
right? Like you can be whatever version you are of yourself and I'll be okay.
Right.
Even though today I'm annoyed at you or I'm angry at you, but we'll
Mhm.
still be friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's an authenticity of it, of just here I am as is. Can you accept me this way?
Right.
And that's what I realized, like even talking to one of my best friends. So we met since like second grade.
Mm-hmm.
And now she lives in Canada, has kids and stuff. And we were talking the other day, and we're just like she was telling me, she's like, but we're childhood friends. We will always be there for each other. Having that place of belonging, of I could just show myself, even on my worst days, like I'm crying or I text her and be like, I'm so sad today. These things happen, and I just feel like crying. Can we get on a call? And her just like coming back and responding like, I'm so sorry you had a bad day, and like what's going on. To me, it's just like there is no need to hide
Right.
that every day
Yeah.
is a good day or like
Mhm.
it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And to just be honest with where you're at,
Right.
it's so important, like that they hear you
Uh-huh.
and they accept it. Some of the things that I'm struggling with, I'm like, isn't that just such a butter issue or like a single person issue because they're married, and I feel so like my problems are so small compared to the
Mhm.
things that you have to deal with as like a mother.
Right.
And she was like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like that's what you're dealing with.
Right.
And but she's like, it's okay. To me, just looking at my issue, I'm like, wow, to you it must look like it's so petty, like it's so
Yeah.
small. Like, why would you have these things? But she was just like, no, but it's something you're just going through.
Yeah.
And I think it's
That's so
just
sweet.
right.
Yeah. And I think we need that type of friends where like it doesn't matter if like our kind of like where we are in life
Yeah.
is not the same as them. Because
Right.
I like we have a lot of married friends. I'm not
Yep.
gonna lie.
Yep.
And like some of our married friends,
Mhm.
they're still our friends. It's just
Mhm.
because like of course their life is gonna change after they get married, after they whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, I feel like especially when they start having kids,
Mm.
they have less time for us.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean they're still like they're not your friends. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing that I'm learning. Been learning is they go through different stages. Like there was boyfriend, fiance, husband, then having kids, and being a mother. And they were still friends throughout the whole season,
Right.
even though it looks a little bit different.
Uh-huh.
And their time may not be as much anymore, but they will make time for you still.
Right. Even if honestly not even hanging out, but just like get on a call.
Yes.
Yeah. Give me like 10 minutes and I'll be fine.
Yes. Get
Yeah.
on a call, made an effort, text me to see like because most of my best friends are not in Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And so just texting me and being like, I'm thinking of you, or like, how is it going? How are you
Right.
doing?
Uh-huh.
And so making an effort to keep the connection, which I think
Mhm.
is also the other thing of long lasting friendship, is not one sided.
Mm-hmm.
The other party has to like invest in you as well.
Right. It's a both way communication.
Yeah, it's a
kind of
both way
deal.
communication. But I'm realizing like just because their time may be less doesn't really, it's not the same factor as you're no longer friends. Friendships can still keep going even though you don't talk for a couple weeks or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And just understanding like, okay, they have kids, they don't have as
Right.
much time.
Right. Honestly, I was thinking of we have friends that are not in the same country.
Yes.
You had to deal with time differences.
Oh yes.
And you have good friends when they know your time zone.
Yes.
Like they would know what time like it is there and
Yeah.
like if it's okay to call or
Yeah.
I'm the same way to the other side.
How about 9 a.m. my time? You have to say
Exactly.
my
My time. Your time,
9
my time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how about 9 a.m. my time? And then because of daylight savings to America, and
Right,
stuff,
right. Yeah.
sometimes we have to ask each other, what time is it now?
Right.
And so
yeah.
then it's like, did it change already, or did
Right.
it move from the last time?
Yeah.
And those are the kind of questions we have that a lot of people will not ask these
Right.
questions because
Yeah.
why would you have to? We're in
Right.
the same time zone. But that's every time I talk with people. Can you do 8 p.m. my time? And then I just check.
Yeah.
What time is it in Lubbock, Texas right now?
Right.
Or like, what time is it in Canada right now?
Right.
And check and be like, okay. And it's usually my morning or their night because it's around 12 or 13 hours,
Yeah.
And so that's such a routine for me now. Like, it's so normal for me.
It's
Like,
so normal.
No.
Yeah.
like it's just, this is how it is.
Honestly, you don't think about it.
No.
You just it's like in the back of your head what time it is on the other side that your friends are at.
And I always think like, I need to give them a call. And I look at the clock too early. And then I go do something and then I go back. I'm like,
right.
8
Okay.
p.m. That means maybe 8 a.m. I'm like, okay, I think they can do this.
Yeah.
I think that's just some of the things that we think about or don't think about anymore, but like that's just so
Right.
natural for us.
That's true. Yeah. Honestly, it's hard,
Mhm.
but I feel like both of us are willing to invest in those kind of friendships.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like even though it's hard, we said that it's tough, it's hard, all this kind of struggles, but honestly, I would do it again in a heartbeat. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I would do it again. I don't have a lot of friends, but I have 6 solid friendships that I can call up like anytime.
right,
And literally just keeping up with those 6 to me fills up my time. Like it's hard to invest deeply in so many,
right,
but I would much rather have less in quality
uh-huh,
than to have more and just like very shallow friendships.
definitely, yeah. And I feel like everybody is like again, like what one of my mentors said, like
Mhm.
everybody is on like their journey of literally healing and wellness to actually be like a better version of themselves. I
Yeah.
think everybody have their own struggles, but at the same time, like along that line, we still find like our blessings.
All my best friends that I have, I'm like, I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Right.
It's just so worth it. Like once
Right,
you get to
right.
that level, you're just like, I cannot
Right.
live without it anymore.
Exactly. But you know, if you don't invest your time and your efforts into that kind of friendship, you would never get that six that you have.
Yes,
It's-
you
it's
don't
so
put
crazy.
yourself in a vulnerable position sometimes
Mm-hmm.
and let them see who you truly are.
Uh-huh.
It would be so hard to be so deep to keep it such a long-lasting friendship.
Yeah. This has been a great episode about
Yeah.
friendship and just cross-cultural friendships, how we make friends. We kind of took a detour on food.
Yeah,
again.
food and like stuff about Thailand.
Right. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoy this episode.
See you next time.
Yep.
See you next time. Bye.